Hey guys, Ryan Earnhardt here from CreativeSoundLab.tv. Well, today we're comparing two modern classics for Bloomline recording, the AAA R88 and the Royer SF-12. Okay, so I have had the AAA R88 for about 10 years now. This mic really made my studio. I wanted to be really good at drum recording, and this mic made it really easy. Bloomline is just super easy to use, especially for overheads. Really all it is just XY with two ribbon mics. And to set up XY, it can be a little difficult. You know, a lot of times you use like a stereo bar with small diaphragms. But with ribbons, you're able to get a nice warm sound that reinforces a lot of the drums and smooths out a lot of the top end of the cymbals. And I've never really heard the Royer up until this point. A friend of mine, Garrett Derhofer, we went to his studio, and he picked up one of these Royers, and I was really curious to see how these mics even compared. I'd heard that the Royer was really good. I mean, there's people that go to orchestra recordings and they just bring one mic, put it over the conductor, and call it a day. And it actually comes out great. And I just never have really heard the Royer in person. And I really want to see what the difference is between these two mics. Now, there's other mics out there that are in similar configurations. But the first one that I heard was the AAA, and then I learned of the Royer. So I think that these types of mics are fairly unique, but man, this AAA has been with me through thick and thin. It's been a fantastic mic. So let's compare the two and see how close or how different they actually are. First up, let's try it on drum overheads. We're gonna do my tried and true AAA R88 Mark I against the Royer SF-12. Huge difference here. I mean, I really didn't like the Royer. I mean, I don't mind Royer mics. I think they sound great, actually. But this here, it just was missing the mark. It doesn't give me what I want out of a drum overhead. For me, the AEA, perhaps I'm just used to it, but I really want the warmth and the reinforcement of the drums in my overhead. If I want to thin it out later, I can, but it's at least nice to have. And I think what's happening here is that the Royer is actually fairly flat and the AAA is tapered off like you would expect of a ribbon mic. I think because of that, the AAA sounds more like a ribbon mic in this case, and the Royer almost sounds like a pair of 414s or something, where it's just kind of a flat, accurate sound. Okay, next up, let's try it on some vocal. You'll notice that these mics are different distances. The AAA has a lot more proximity effect, and the Royer doesn't have nearly as much. And this will just be a mono use of both microphones. So we're gonna just use one channel or one ribbon out of the two in each of the mics. First up, the AAA, and then the Royer.
I'm seeking hope. It's where I choose to go. When the world around me has been nothing but scars. In the darkest night, I know there will be light. The dawn will find me when I want to take flight. I'm seeking hope. It's where I choose to go.
you know, you could say that the Royer would be great for like home recording vocals in a really bad room. You know, if you need to get close to a mic to avoid capturing light out of the room, the Royer would be great. Usually people that own this mic are recording really high-end stuff, so probably not going to be your typical home recording vocal duties, but it was just interesting to see the difference in these mics and kind of a standard application such as vocal. We can clearly see the difference in proximity effect, and a little bit in the tone as well. There's a bit different mid-range in the Royer, whereas the AA has, again, it has some rich lows and just kind of a tapered, very smooth dropping off of the highs. Next up is stereo acoustic guitar. This is like one of the most ridiculous sounds of acoustic guitar that I've ever been able to achieve. And I literally just put the R88 in front of an acoustic guitar, and it sounds ridiculously big, almost too big. But I figured this would be a good test. So this is just a Bloom line setup out front of an acoustic guitar. I'd be really curious to hear what you think of this. This is kind of maybe kind of a weird shootout. You know, there's a handful of people that really use and really rely on a Bloom line type setup like this. And so it's not everybody that uses the R88, but I think that it's gotten really popular in recent years. And so I know when I originally got this mic, it was like a special order kind of thing, and you know, kind of, it wasn't really that common. And I think this really caught on because it's such a great mic. Of course, they came out with the Mark II, which just allows just a lot more easy, you know, mounting and cable management. But this SF-12 was always kind of the high-end competitor to the R88. And I can't say that it's worth, you know, several $100 more for that sound. Perhaps if you want the flat frequency response, but I don't know. To be honest, it's not necessarily better. It's also good, but just different. So, I'd love to know what you think of this. Be hanging out, comments below.